What's up, Tailgaters? You're in the booth with Tailgate Nate today. Welcome to my channel. Group of 5 Championship Week preview predictions are continuing today when we talk about the Conference USA Championship game, and it houses one of only 5 unbeaten teams left in the entire country. That is the Liberty Flames. They have been dominant in Conference USA from start to finish. A couple games here and there have been pretty close, but the New Mexico State Aggies have been one of the very surprising teams this year, at least in terms of preseason expectation. They have found themselves in the Conference USA Championship game, and they're going to hope to walk away with a conference title whilst taking down the undefeated Liberty Flames, now coached, of course, by Jamie Chadwell. We'll talk about everything Aggies and Flames in a minute, but before we do that, you guys know I got to say thank you for all the love and support the channel has seen as of late. And if you want to continue to show your support, hey, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, watch my videos, like, comment, share. Anything you guys do to help interact, or I guess anything you do to interact with the channel, period, helps to support it. So whatever you guys are willing and able to do, I will greatly appreciate. But that's enough about me, and that's enough about how you can support the channel. I'm sure you guys know the ways by now. Let's dive on into the Conference USA preview and prediction for their championship game. This is going to be a very fun game. I feel like the first matchup here, Liberty was able to win 33-17. Again, Conference USA, only a conference with 9 teams, and so it's a conference in which everybody plays everybody, but I feel like New Mexico State going to be up to the task a little bit more here, but we'll dive on into the stats and talk about why I think that is. The Liberty here, there should be a number 24 down there by their name. They are ranked according to the College Football Playoff Committee, so just don't know where my 24 went. Maybe I just never put it in, but Liberty is the 24th ranked team in the country. New Mexico State is not ranked, but they've had a very impressive 10-3 season, and they've done it because of the just takeover gameplay of their quarterback, whose name Diego Pavia, 2,727 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 8 picks. He's the leading passer on the team, obviously, but is also this team's leading rusher as well. 806 yards, 5 touchdowns on the ground. But besides Pavia, in terms of actual running backs here on the roster, you got 2 pretty darn good ones. The feature one is going to be that of Star Thomas, 103 carries, 604 yards, and 4 touchdowns. But you have a really explosive guy in Monty Watkins that is averaging 10.4 yards per carry, 52 carries, 543 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has this innate ability to be able to rip off big runs. He is very talented as a running back for the New Mexico State Aggies. Taking a look at this wide receiver room as well, Jonathan Brady, a pretty good player. Trent Hudson, a transition quarterback. Eli Stowers is now playing wide receiver. He has 32 catches for 346 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hudson is leading the way with them in touchdowns with 8, and then Brady there with 3. Both of them averaging 15.7 yards per catch, and I'm talking about Brady and Hudson there in that as well. But this is an offense that leans on the run, and we're going to talk about another offense that leads on the run here as well, but they're averaging 205 rush yards per game, 217 through the air. Very balanced offensive attack. You really can't get a whole lot more balanced than that. Their offensive line is spotty at times, but it's an offense that, for the most part, doesn't really turn the football over and is pretty solid on third down. Now, moving on over to the defensive side of the ball for the Aggies, you do have a lot of good playmakers in those 31 sacks, not just coming for 1 or 2 guys. In fact, a quick count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys have at least 3 sacks on the season for them, and if you're counting guys with at least 2 sacks, I believe there's 10 or 11 guys that have at least 2 sacks on the season for this Aggie defense. That means the pressure can come from anywhere, and there's a lot of depth on this defense as well, especially on the defensive front, guys that you can come in and sub out, and in this linebacker room as well. The New Mexico State can bring a lot of really good blitz pressures. They can really bring some things from everywhere. The defense pretty solid on third down. However, they don't really generate the necessary turnovers to be able to make up for what the offense gives up. 13 turnovers on the offense. Meanwhile, only 11 turnovers forced by this defense. However, they are a pretty solid pass defense. They are a pretty solid rush defense in there as well. They're not really elite in either category, but the defense does enough to help New Mexico State close out games and help them come away with some wins. Why else do you think that they have a double-digit win total? They're 10-3 on the season. But we are going to move on here to the undefeated Liberty Flames. And I don't think, besides an Armed Forces Academy, I have seen a rushing total this high. They averaged 295.4 rushing yards per game. And they do it because Quinton Cooley is an absolute madman. 1,251 yards on 202 carries. That's 6.2 yards per carry with 13 touchdowns. And the quarterback, Caden Salter, man, can he run the football as well. 141 carries, 899 yards. That's 6.4 yards per carry with 11 touchdowns on the season. Caden Salter on the year, also 2,431 yards, 29 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions through the air. Now, it's not the most accurate passer at times, only a 59% completion percentage, roughly, give or take a tenth of a percent or two. But when you take a look at this Liberty offense, it obviously starts through the run. This is a very dynamic rushing team. They love to run the football. They love to get Caden Salter outside of the pocket where he can create, and he's really, really good at being able to do that. But if Caden Salter, if this is a Liberty team that sits at a third and long, a third and mid, Caden Salter has the ability to be able to let one rip and be able to get that ball down the field. I've been very impressed with what I've seen from Caden Salter all year long. He is a very, very good option at the quarterback position, and I've spoken about the weapons in the running back room, weapons in the wide receiver room. Well, it all starts out here with CJ Daniels. Leads the team, actually more than doubles anyone else on the team with 40 catches, 831 yards. It's also more than double than anyone, also almost more than double than anyone on the team, and his 9 touchdowns also almost as double as anyone on the team. So by far is their leading receiver. But when you take a look at this wide receiver room, you have 4 guys with at least 10 catches that are averaging 20 yards per reception. And if you take it a step farther, 6 guys with at least 10 catches are averaging 10 yards per reception. This is a huge, big play Liberty offense. Caden Salter averaging 10.1 yards per completion. This is a really dynamic, really explosive Liberty offense. They protect the quarterback. They're great on third down. They do have a tendency to turn the football over, especially fumbling. There's 11 fumbles on the season for this team. But other than that, this offense moves. It is dynamic, and it is really, really, really fun to watch. Definitely a big reason why this team is undefeated. But another big reason is their bend but don't break defense. You'll take a look at those numbers. 107 rush yards per game. Yes, that is very, very good. This is the team that is really pretty good at being able to defend the run. Now, their secondary does have some holes, but 51 pass defended, 20 interceptions. Yes, you heard that right. 2-0. 20 interceptions on the season for this Liberty Flames secondary. So for as good as the run defense is, they're also able to generate pressure to the quarterback. 25 sacks on the season. This is a secondary that may give up the big play here and there, and I think Pavia is going to be able to hit some shots, but man, do they get up for that football, and they rip it down. 20 interceptions on the season is just absolutely insane. They have a ton of guys that are picking balls off. Their top 4 leading tacklers all have 2 picks each. And then you take a look at some guys in their secondary. Brylan Green with 5 picks, and then Kobe Singleton sitting there with 4. A very, very good defense here from the Liberty Flames in terms of being able to take the football away. Let's dive on into your what to watch for, kind of like the keys to the game. There's just some things I think you should keep an eye on while you're paying attention to this one. Pavia, there should be no S on the end of the sentence. I apologize, but Pavia must be a dynamic playmaker. Now, he's done it all season long. He's been the leading passer. He's been the leading rusher. He's been just far and away the leading playmaker throughout for this team for the entire year. He may have to rely on some of his wide receivers to go up and make some plays, may have to rely on Star Thomas and Watkins a little bit more, but Pavia is a big, big, big thing here in this game. As soon as Pavia gets outside of the pocket, hold your breath, because it's going to be a really, really dynamic big play. Pavia is great at using his legs. He's great at being able to find his wide receivers there as well. Now, the interception bug can bite him a little bit. He can't let it do that here in this game. I don't think it is going to, though, and I think Pavia is going to be a very dynamic playmaker for the New Mexico State Aggies all throughout this game. But defensively, for the New Mexico State Aggies, key in on the run and make Caden Salter have to win the game with his arm. I should have specified there, make Salter win the game with his arm. If you let him win the game on the ground, well, he's just going to be able to run behind that offensive line and do it. And yes, he can hit a lot of deep shots down the field, and he's a very explosive weapon, but I mean, you really can do nothing but tip your cap if this guy is making 40-yard throw after 40-yard throw after 40-yard throw. That's just a really good quarterback performance. Like I spoke on earlier, though, Salter is not always the most accurate quarterback. Does have a 58% completion percentage, and while he doesn't throw that many picks, he definitely has his times where he just can't seem like he can complete a pass. So being able to make Salter win the game, if you key in on this run game, you're able to slow down Cooley and Lucas and Bedgood and Joyner, and Salter running the football. Let Salter sit back in the pocket, make some throws. You have enough defensive pressure to be able to make Caden Salter really feel it. But the big thing, limit turnovers. Don't let Pavia's interception bug become a factor here in this game, and control the clock. Because Liberty runs the football so well, they have had clock control all throughout this season. That's something that just hasn't changed. Liberty has controlled the clock throughout pretty much every game this season. In fact, I think in every game this season, and if you go look at their average time of possession, I mean, it's absolutely insane, the gap between them and the other team. They have the ball for, on average, probably at least 10 more minutes. So you got to be able to limit turnovers, control the clock, keep this Liberty offense off the field as much as possible. If you are Liberty, though, hey, the keys are very, very simple. You got to continue to run the rock like you have been doing, right? 1,200 yards from Cooley, almost 900 yards from Salter, and then almost 500 yards from both Lucas and Bedgood. First time I'm mentioning them here in this video, besides when I did it just about 45 seconds ago. But if you keep running the rock and you keep pounding away, New Mexico State has a pretty solid run defense. I do think they're going to be able to create some negative plays, but just with the sheer amount of times that Liberty runs the football this year, they're going to break through. And Quentin Cooley and Caden Salter are going to have those big runs. So if you keep running the rock, just hard-nosed, run it down your throat. Liberty, if they continue to do what they have been all year long, and then once the team gets like, okay, it's a run play, bam, you hit your deep shot over the middle for a 69-yard touchdown throw. Hey, have at it there. That's what Liberty's going to plan to do. It's what they've been doing all season long. But defensively, you got to be able to keep Pavia inside the pocket or force him to run it inside. I think it's a no-brainer that Pavia is going to have some design quarterback runs, and he's going to try to get out of the pocket. I mean, he leads this team, this Aggie team, in carries for goodness sake. He is going to run the football. You can't stop that, and Pavia is going to have some big plays. Liberty can stop it, though. They can stop it. They can force him to run inside. They can force him to run to the interior, where they can collapse on him and limit what Pavia is able to do, or just keep Pavia in the pocket when he is back to throw. Put a spy on him. Don't let him get anywhere near the boundary, and that's where Pavia can start to be really, really effective for this Aggie offense. But I think the Flames' line of scrimmage advantage is going to continue. I think they're not going to allow a ton of pressure back there to Caden Salter. He's going to be able to get outside of the pocket and run. He's going to be able to take some shots down the field. And I think defensively, Liberty is going to be able to provide pressure to Pavia as well. Now, New Mexico State may, see, there you go. There's my 24. It exists. Liberty is ranked. But I am very, very interested to see how Pavia plays, and maybe see how they use some of the other skill position players that they have, like Star Thomas and like Brady and like Hudson, and even like the transition quarterback and Eli Stowers as well, who, hey, we know that he can run the football as well. He's averaging 4.3 yards per carry. I'm just very interested to see how New Mexico State also adjusts from their game plan when they played earlier this year. I do think they're going to adjust. I do think they're going to play better, but I think Liberty is too good. They're going to pound it on the ground way too often, and I think that the Liberty Flames will outpower, will outmuscle. They will win the line of scrimmage battle. Caden Salter is going to do what he's done all year long, hit a couple deep shots down the field, and the Liberty Flames remain undefeated and stake their case to the College Football Playoff Committee why they deserve a shot in a New Year's Six bowl game. Let me know how you guys see this one playing out in the comment section below. Remember to play hard but tailgate harder, and I'll see all you guys in the next video. Goodbye.